This is the Louie T Network. Hey, either you're outside or you're
in the lab room.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome. You are in the lab room. Of course, I am your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Week number 10 in the National Football League. Arizona Cardinals at home hosting the St. Louis Rams with a little bit of NFC West family business. Arizona Cardinals looking to improve to a league best 8-1 on the season. Cannot overlook these St. Louis Rams, however, as they've already beaten Seattle in this division, already beaten San Francisco. They're looking to add the Arizona Cardinals to their checklist. So the Cardinals know what's at stake here. They got a huge matchup with the Detroit Lions right around the corner in Week 11. Don't want to overlook these Rams trying to get to that matchup because they can easily jump up and bite you. Just ask the San Francisco 49ers. Just ask the Seattle Seahawks. So if you're the Arizona Cardinals, it's family business. You know what time it is. You know what you got to do here. This is a dangerous team in the Rams in front of you. Don't allow that game against Detroit to cloud your judgment and overlook these guys and end up with a loss going into a huge matchup between two first-place teams in week number 11. If you're the Rams, look, you got the San Francisco 49ers a week ago. You're saying to yourself, why not us this week? Why can't we do it again? And so if you are the St. Louis Rams, this is a big game for your psyche. You've already beaten Seattle. You've already beaten San Francisco. The one team in this division right now that's playing at a really high level is this Arizona Cardinals team. What a feather in your cap it would be to be able to go on the road nonetheless, a place where the Cardinals rarely lose football games, and get a win against this football team. Let's see if they could accomplish that feat. Tavon Austin, electrifying on the Rams' third possession. This was the Tavon Austin I thought we were getting when he was drafted. I remember Mike Mayock saying that Darrell Patterson was the most explosive player in that draft, and I disagreed with him, and I said that it was Tavon Austin. And I said that because of plays like this. Wide receiver screen, doesn't look like there's more than 4 or 5 yards there. There's a slew of Arizona Cardinal defenders there waiting to bring him down. Somehow he's able to jump cut, zig and zag in and out, and able to come out of that pile, out of that wreckage. I mean, it looked like there was no more than 4 or 5 yards there. He comes out of the other side of that pile, runs up the field. If not for the sound fundamental tackle from Tyrann Mathieu, this guy's gone. I mean, this is probably a 77-yard touchdown scamper. Instead, it's an 18-yard play. Still very, very impressive moves by Tavon Austin, which is what I thought we were getting when this kid came out of West Virginia. And then he showcases some more of his skills on a jet sweep. And I think the Rams are starting to figure out how to use him. I don't think they quite understand what they have in Tavon Austin quite yet. But again, I think they're starting to figure out that this guy is an asset. We have to find ways to give him the football. And so jet sweep down by the end zone, sets up a 1-yard Benny Cunningham touchdown. And it's 7-0. St. Louis up early in this football game. So Rams, once again, getting out to fast starts. And they've done that all season long. This has been a team that hasn't had a problem starting games. They've had problems finishing football games. So that's the end of the first quarter. Rams up 7-0. I thought the Cardinals had a great response to that drive as Carson Palmer was razor sharp responding to that touchdown of the Rams. He went 5 of 6 on that drive, including hitting 3 different receivers as they got into the end zone on a 4-yard Andre Ellie touchdown, give him a little pitch out of the backfield, and he's able to weave his way into the end zone at 7-all in this football game. And then Cantazaro hits a field goal to make it 10-7, and he tied an NFL record set by Kai Forbath in 2012 for the most field goals made to start a career consecutively at 17. And this guy's been a great kicker for the Cardinals this season. Huge leg. He's a pretty tall kid too. When I see him, I'd love to know how tall he is. He looks every bit of 6'4", 6'5". So either way, he's been drilling them home for the Cardinals. Has been consistent as anybody in the league, and as evident by the 17 consecutive made kicks to start his career. So he's now in the NFL record books as the Cardinals take the lead 10-7. Would not be for long, however, as the St. Louis Rams strike quickly right before the half. 59-yard touchdown strike from Austin Davis to Jared Cook Jr. And when Jared Cook Jr. is catching the football, he's one of the most athletically gifted and dangerous tight ends in this league. His issue is he's a guy that will drop the football on you, have lapses in concentration, but when he's on, he's a marvel at the tight end position, and you saw it on this play, runs right by Deone Bucannon as if he's standing still, and Deone Bucannon is not a slow guy. It's for him to just run by him like that, and Deone Bucannon stood no chance on this play. Just shows you the athletic ability that Jared Cook Jr. possesses as he catches the football, accelerates away from the defense, gets into the end zone. It's 14-10 at the half. Rams are on top. So you go to the second half, and Alec Ogletree picks off Carson Palmer. And the Rams had their backs up against the wall. Cardinals were driving the football. They were already in field goal range, looking to get inside the red zone. And Carson Palmer makes a monumental mistake again. These are the mistakes that the Cardinals have been avoiding this season. Not a lot of turnovers, especially in the red zone when they have opportunities to put points on the scoreboard. So this was uncharacteristic of the Cardinals football team right here. But I don't think Carson Palmer even saw Alec Ogletree on this play. He throws the football. It's picked off. Ogletree is able to get all the way to the Arizona Cardinals 45-yard line on the play. So he sets the Rams up in great field position. But this is what bad football teams do right here. You get a golden opportunity. You're on the road. You're already up by 4. All the momentum you could ask for in the world after that interception puts you in Arizona Cardinals territory. And this is what the Rams do now. I'll say this much. I thought that blindside block and I think the NFL has taken it too far. I've seen a number of penalties on blindside blocks and they've made emphasis on this. They've put an emphasis on not decleating guys that are running in one direction and they're not facing you and yada, yada, yada. But it's football. Keep your head on a swivel. They're trying to, of course, get rid of the concussions and eliminate them as much as possible. And so I get the gist of it, but I don't like the rule because Jared Cook Jr. catches a pass over by the sidelines. As he's turning up the field, he gets an excellent block from Lance Kendricks. And no way, shape, or form should this be a penalty. I mean, it's a clean block. It's legal. His head was where it was supposed to be. It's not his fault the defender didn't see him coming. He lays him out, and Jared Cook Jr. gets up the sideline, picks up a cool 27 yards or so on the play, only to have it called back because of this senseless penalty. And to me, I don't like the call. I don't think that this is what the rules were put in place to prevent. It wasn't put in place to stop guys from being able to do their job. What do you want them to do? Come in and just stand there and set a pick? I mean, it's football. And so that was frustrating to see that call made at that juncture of the game, because I thought it was a huge call because, again, all that momentum they would have gotten off of that play, who knows what happens? They could have scored a touchdown on that drive. Instead, you march them back 15 yards, and it makes it, first or second and long. Then they turn around, have a penalty for illegal formation. Then after that, they get sacked. So all of a sudden, a drive that started at the 45-yard line of the Cardinals is all the way back in Rams territory somewhere, and they got to punt the football. So I thought that was a turning point in this game, and I felt like it was very, very unfortunate for the Rams, who has been a part of some very badly officiated games this season. And so I thought that was another instance where they might have been bitten by the officials in a football game. But nonetheless, they punt the football. We go on. Rams still up 14-10 in this game. Carson Palmer tears his ACL in the fourth quarter as they're driving to either take the lead or cut the lead to 1. And it's a scary moment for the Cardinals because you see the play, you see it unfold, and you know exactly what's going on here. It's a non-contact play. He's trying to step up in the pocket. He's not able to go up. As when he tries to take that step up, his leg gives way. He falls down, and you know right away that's the ACL. I mean, for any of us who have been watching football for any amount of time, we know an ACL injury when we see one, and that was not pretty. And then as he was carted off the field, you could only help but think that's the end of the season for Carson Palmer. And what does that mean for the season of these Arizona Cardinals? Well, Drew Stanton comes in. First things first, they were in field goal range, so they trot out Cantazaro, who has not missed on the season. Well, of course, as fate would have it, he would miss. So the record still stands at 17. He did not break it. So, and he misses his first field goal of the season. It's still 14-10. So Rams have an opportunity with some great field position, but they're not able to do anything with it. Then the Cardinals, of course, Drew Stanton into the game now, and The one thing I love about Bruce Arians is that he has the utmost confidence in Drew Stanton. Remember, Drew Stanton was going to be his starting quarterback before Carson Palmer became available and the Cardinals went out and got him. He had every intention of making Drew Stanton his starting quarterback. So he feels like Drew Stanton can come in and there will be no drop-off at the quarterback position. And you saw that on this possession, his first possession essentially in the game, as he came in the game firing the football, and he came in 3 of 3, including 82 yards, including a 48-yard touchdown hookup with Sheriff John Brown, who gets in the end zone on a beautiful diving catch. And I don't know what this is, but he was in the moment, I was in the moment, everybody was in the moment, as that was a hell of a catch, a hell of a throw. And Drew Stanton is a guy that I think this Cardinals team is absolutely comfortable with at the quarterback position. Now, I don't know how that's going to fare when you go to Seattle, when you go to San Francisco, when you go to St. Louis, if Drew Stanton is going to be firing the football like that. But he looked damn good in this game, and he looked good earlier in the season when he had to come in relief. And so he was able to get it done on that possession to give the Cardinals the lead for the first time in this game at 17-14, or excuse me, for the second time in the game at 17-14. And then the St. Louis Rams just unraveled. I mean, Austin Davis throws 2 interceptions, both of them to Patrick Peterson. Both of them were forced footballs that should not have been thrown. Just bad decisions on the part of Austin Davis. And the second of which of those interceptions goes to the house, as it was a beautiful play by Patrick Peterson. I've been giving him a lot of flack for not playing as well this season, and this was an awesome play to back the ball to yourself, to then track it down, get into the end zone. That's a top flight corner play, and he made it. And that extended the lead out to 24-14. And just for a little bit of icing on the cake, just to make sure the Rams had no ideas of trying to make this thing close again, one of their rookie draft picks, Kareem Martin, able to get to Austin Davis as he's trying to throw the football, forces a fumble, scooped up by Antonio Cromartie. He marches into the end zone. That makes it 31-14. That is your final score in this game, as the Arizona Cardinals explode for 21 in the fourth quarter and defeat the St. Louis Rams 31-14. The ending of this game is typical of this Rams team, who struggles down the stretch. I talked about them getting out to fast starts and not being able to finish football games. Well, that ending to this game didn't sit well with the Rams, as they have benched Austin Davis. Think they've seen enough of the Austin Davis story. It was a nice story. It lasted for a while. It was great. He was able to lead you to a couple of victories. But when it's all said and done, he is not a starting quarterback in this league. I think everyone can agree on that. Maybe a solid backup, but not a starting quarterback. And so they're going to Sean Hill. Don't know what that really does for you. Don't know if you feel like that gives you a better opportunity to win. I don't really feel like Sean Hill is going to change much of anything, but he is a veteran. He does know this league in and out, and he will be able to do some things that maybe a guy like Austin Davis, who hasn't seen all, done all in this league like Sean Hill has, will be able to do. So we'll see what that move does for the St. Louis Rams. Meanwhile, Arizona Cardinals once again get it done at home, as they've done all season long. They're now 8-1 on the season. Huge matchup they've set up with the Detroit Lions in Week 11. 7-2 Lions, 8-1 Cardinals, both first place teams in their respective divisions. That's going to be a lot of fun. So Cardinals take care of business. But the bigger issue and the biggest story coming away from this game is the injury to Carson Palmer and the lasting effects of that injury. Will this team be able to circumvent that injury, or will Drew Stanton be the undoing of this Arizona Cardinals team that was so promising early on in this season? That's going to do it for Cards hosting the St. Louis Rams. I thank you for joining me. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the Lab Room. Come back and join me, as I've got a couple more games to break down in week number 10 in the National Football League. See you in a bit.
In the lab.